Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to online classes. This is C. John Paul, lecturer in English of Sri Venkateswara College of Arts and Science, Amlapuram, affiliated Adikavananda University, Rajamahendravaram, who have been discussing about the second year, fourth semester, CSS 3, Communication and Soft Skills Paper 3. In this syllabus or paper contains 5 units. Unit 1 soft skills, Unit 2 paragraph writing. The both units are completed, and now we are discussing about the Unit 3. The Unit 3 name is paraphrasing and summarizing. Paraphrasing and summarizing. So in this topic nearly 4 basic lessons are there. Elements of effective paraphrasing, techniques of paraphrasing, what makes a good summary, stages of summarizing. Right. First of all, we are trying to learn what is paraphrasing and what is summarizing. The terms paraphrasing and summarizing are often confusing to most of the students. This is because both have them mean very similar things with just a few differences. Actually, the both words are same, but a small difference is there. In this lesson, in this unit, and in the next we will learn at a paraphrasing and they discuss summarizing, bringing out the differences. Both paraphrasing and summarizing are the strategies used into incorporate other writers' works or ideas in our own words into our writing. This will provide support to our own ideas, give reasons of why we agree or disagree with something. Give reasons of why we agree or disagree with something. Give depth to our writing. And next, refer to something that led to our ideas. The last one is give a point of view which is different from ours. This is the terms meanings of paraphrasing and summarizing. What is the paraphrasing? First of all, what is the paraphrasing? It is an exact restatement in which simple and lucid sentences of a difficult text, be it prose or a poem. This is the meaning of paraphrasing. Or it must reflect the entire meaning of the given text, no less, no more than what the text contains. Paraphrasing must reflect the entire meaning of the given text. no less, no more than what the text contains. Paraphrase is an expression in the other words of the sense of any passage, of the sense of any passage. Paraphrase means simple word, the restatement of the sense of a paragraph in other words. In other words, it must faithfully reproduce the thought of the original passage in similar language. In similar language. A paraphrase differs from a precise. Differs from a precise. Precise means a precise is a brief summary of the salient points of a given passage. A paraphrase is a full rendering of the sense of the passage with all its details in the writer's own idiom and style. A preface is must shorter than original. It means a preface on the other hand should condense the given text to 1/3 of its length. It permits no additions. It allows only deletions. Allows only deletion. That is the preface. A preface is much shorter than the original, while the paraphrase is about as long as the original. Sometimes it may be even slightly longer. Because we may have to explain a metaphor or a simile or delucidate an epigram which occurs in the original. These are all examples, figures of speeches, alankaralu. New ideas should not be added which are not already there. New ideas should not be added which are not already there is there in the original passage. Before writing a paraphrase, one should study it carefully and grasp its central idea. Don't being paraphrasing line by line without first understanding the passage as a whole. It should be written in the same person as in the original, unless specifically instructed. Third person need not be used. Third person need not be used. This is the paraphrasing information and explanation. The next one is elements of paraphrasing. Elements of paraphrasing. A paraphrase may be of a prose piece or a poem. It contains all the ideas of the original text, neither more nor less. Repetitions, etc., are or avoided. First one, artistic device are reduced to plain English. This is the first element of paraphrasing. Second, sentences are made simple and plain. This is second element. Third, sentence or rhetoric questions, inversions, etc. are avoided. Fourth, plain, normal, day-to-day words and style are used. Fifth, thus paraphrasing helps everyone to understand the original text easily and clearly. Sixth one, provide support to our own ideas or examples, relevant facts. Give reasons of why we agree or disagree with something. Give reasons of why we agree or disagree with something. And eighth one, give depth to our writing. Give depth to our writing. Ninth one, refer to something that led to our ideas. Tenth one, give a part of you which is different from ours. Give a point of view which is different from ours. These are elements. And the next most important point is, when do we paraphrase? And we paraphrase and features of paragraph and features of paragraph. This is the most important question. When do we and do we paraphrase? When paraphrase we paraphrase when, first one, we want to use another writer's words without plagiarizing. Plagiarizing means to use the words or ideas of another person as if they were your own words. As if they were your own words. That is the meaning of that word. Next, we want to use another writer's words without the use of quotes. Use of quotes. The next one, there are more important ideas. There are more important ideas. The next one, we think that the passage is difficult to understand for readers. Difficult to understand for readers. It is important to always give credit to the sources while paraphrasing. While paraphrasing. That is, we need to see the original work. Otherwise, the paraphrase will be considered plagiarized. To avoid plagiarism, We should not include many words and phrases from the original text. If we want to use a word or a phrase with a special meaning, then we need to use the words or phrases in quotes. This is the paraphrasing doing. Paraphrasing doing. The next point is features of paraphrase. What is it? Features of paraphrase. We may paraphrase either a passage or a poem, but the paraphrases of both have the same features. Some of the features are given below. Some of the features are given below. First one, the paraphrasing of a poem or a passage contains the same idea or theme. Contains the same idea or theme. This is the first feature of paraphrasing. The next one is, in other words, it does not contain any new ideas or opinions. Any new ideas or opinions. No idea or sub-theme is repeated. Sub-theme is repeated. Third one, all the figures of speech are expressed in simple and direct language. The next point is, that is, paraphrase may not contain similars, metaphors, epigrams, and such other figures of speech. So next point is, usually the sentences are not long and complex, as the paraphrase aims to make the text or poem comprehensible to the reader. There are no sentences in direct speech, no sentences containing inversion, and no rhetorical questions. So the next one is technical, archaic, unusual, and obscure words not found unless they are absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. So these are features. So now look at some of the poem and their paraphrases. ఒక 1-2 పోయమ్స్ని పారాఫ్రేజ్ ఎలా చేయాలో మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ స్మాల్ వాస్ పోయమ్ని తీసుకుందాం. 4 lines of stanza. Let us then be up and doing, with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, land to labor and to wait. This is a 4 lines of stanza. This could be paraphrased as, దీన్ని paraphrase ఎలా చేయాలి అంటే, we should not lose heart whatever may happen. We should be alert and active, still working hard. We must learn to aim for and achieve our objectives. We must also learn to wait patiently for the results. It is the work, the goal that we must pursue irrespective of whether we are successful or not. What do we find in this paraphrase? There are simple and complete sentences. It talks about only the main theme of the poem. There are no new ideas or opinions. Here is another example. Please read the poem and then read the paraphrase given below it. మీకు ఇక్కడ ఒక పోయం కనిపిస్తుంది చూడండి. ఓజోమెండైస్ written by P.B. Shelley. It means this poem was written by P.B. Shelley and the statue belonged to Ozymandias, the king of Egypt. This is the writer or one line of theme of poem. So now I read the poem once. Look at here. Then how to do the paraphrase. First, Ozymandias poem. I met a traveler from an Attic land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies whose forlorn and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold comment tell that it is sculptor, while those fashions red, which yet survives stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fat. On the pedestal those words appear. My name is Ozymandias, kind of kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and is a pure. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. This is the poem. The poem begins in the first person, but most of the narrative is impersonal. Begins the first person, but most of the narrative is impersonal. It is a description of ruined piece of sculpture. The philosophic concept is that man thinks very highly of himself, has a powerful entity, but in course of time he is forgotten. So the main points in the poem are three. 1. The traveler is the narrator. Second, the raised sculptures in stone reflect that man, even kings are after all, are mortal. Third, man is funny creature compared to eternity. So how to do paraphrase this poem? The poet relates that tale told by a traveler from Egypt. I saw a traveler from an Asian country. He told me the following points. There are two large legs made of stone without body in the desert. Like he told the poet, and he had seen a whose broken statue laying in the desert. All that remained, all the statue were two waist legs without the trunk of them. There lay the broken face of the statue. It was half buried in the sand. The upturned lip reflected the tyrant's pride and his vanity. His boastful and hateful attitude relieved his authoritative temperament. The inner passions, his pride, his commanding personality, the king's contempt for the ordinary people, and his conceited nature are clearly visible. The sculptor was a veteran in his art. He skillfully stamped the inner passions of the emperor on the stone. But now the sculptor and the emperor are no more on the pedestal of the statue. His name was written as Ozymandias, the supreme among the kings. He boasted of his great achievement. He declared that no one could match him in his great deeds, nor could equal him. Even in the future, and one would be ever about to compare, to complete himself with Ozymandias. The whose statue is now in ruins. The mighty works of the emperor have vanished. What services and stretches itself far and wide is the limitless expanse of the sands. Any of situation is effectively employed by Shelley to underline the vanity and futility of your efforts to continue our memory. Now, look at the following excerpt from a speech on prejudice against women by Horn. Srile Sisholem of New York in the House of Representatives on May 21, 1969, and its paraphrase. It is true that part of the problem has been that women have not been aggressive in demanding their rights. This was also true of the black population for many years. They submitted to oppression and even cooperated with it. Women have done the same thing, but now there is an awareness of this situation, particularly among the younger segment of the population. So paraphrase, so paraphrase. While talking about prejudice against women in the House of Representatives, Hone Shirley Sismalon of New York Company compares women with black population. She says that women like black population are not assertive in insisting on what they deserve to get. As a result, women have been ill treated, but now young women know this very well. సో టూ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్డ్ హియర్. ఇక్కడ ఒకటి ఓజోమెండెస్ గురించి చూసాము, అలాగే ప్రీజడ్యూస్ ఎగ్నెస్ట్ ఉమెన్ గురించి కూడా చూసాం. ఒకసారి ఓజోమెండెస్ గురించి బ్రీఫ్గా మీకు చెప్తాను, ట్రై టు లిసన్. I saw a traveler from an Asian country. He told me the following points. There are two large legs made of stone without body in the desert. Very close to those legs there is a broken face. It is half sunk in the sand. It has an angry look on its forehead. The lip is folded, reflecting authority. With no concern, all these features show the sculptor's mastery in understanding the emotions of that person. Always hated them, and those emotions fill that man's heart. The stand on which the statue was erected gives us the details of the person. His name was Ozymandias. He declared himself as the kind of kings. He asked the onlookers to notice his power. He describes his acts and mighty. Now, nothing is left other than the large broken statue, unlimited, and unvowed alone on the vast expanse of sands. This is the explanation of the Ozymandias. Another example of it is true that part of the problem passage poem paraphrase చూసాం, ప్యాసేజ్ని paraphrase example. It is true that part of the problem has been that women have not been aggressive in demanding their rights. This was also true of the black population. For many years, they submitted to oppression and even cooperated with it. Women have done the same thing, but now there is an awareness of this situation, particularly among the younger segment of the population. How to do paraphrase? The fact is that women have not been assertively asking for their rights. There, this is a part of the problem. It is like the problem of the black people for many years. The blacks accepted brutal control of themselves. Brutal control of themselves. Sometimes they even cooperated with those operationers. Women are now repeating the same mistake. Now, however, some women, particularly the younger ones, realize the position. They have an understanding of their rights and the need to demand those goals. This is the passage paraphrasing. Stanza paraphrasing చూసాం. Complete poem Ozymandias paraphrasing చూసాం. Passage paraphrasing కూడా చూసాం. So in this class you have discussed very clearly about what is paraphrasing. Second, what are the elements of effective paraphrasing? Third, when we do paraphrasing. Fourth, features of paraphrasing, and what are the language features of paraphrasing. These all things seen in this video. Try to understand. Once again repeat the point. There is no difference between paraphrasing and summarizing. Very clearly. So paraphrasing, a simple point is paraphrase means the restatement of the sense of a passage in other words. Remember, or it must reflect the entire meaning of the given text. Paraphrase, it means no less, no more than what the text contains. Remember it. No more, no less. అంటే ఇచ్చిన అంశం యొక్క సంపూర్ణార్థం తాత్పర్యముతో ఉండాలి. ఏమాత్రము తగ్గించవద్దు, అదనంగా చేర్చవద్దు అని అర్థం. ప్రిసైజ్ రైటింగ్ అంటే ఇచ్చిన భాగాన్ని మూడవదికి తగ్గించి రాయడం. చేర్పులు ఇక్కడ అసలే ప్రిసైజ్ రైటింగ్లో యాడింగ్కి నో ఛాన్స్. ఓన్లీ ద పర్మిషన్ ఆఫ్ డిలేషన్స్, తీసివేతకు తప్ప చేర్చడానికి అసలు తావుండదు. ఇదేంటి? సేమ్, తగ్గించొద్దు, పెంచొద్దు. నో లెస్, నో మోర్. దిస్ ఈజ్ ద paraphrasing information. The next class we will have been discussing techniques of paraphrasing and etc. Thank you so much.